What's happening, guys? I'm back. Better late than never. All right. Sorry, I missed last week's episode. Again, this seems to be a common occurrence for me, but with the COVID restrictions lifting, me being back to work more, and the travel restrictions lifting, I've been spending a lot more time on the road. So I actually spent all last week down in the Smokanogan, hanging out in Kelowna, Salmon Arm, Vernon area, seeing some people down there. So not a whole lot of time to work on the car. So I figured I'll just push the episode a week and we'll do it now. So haven't spent a lot of time on the car. Did get to come out for a couple of weekday evenings and do a little bit of wiring. I thought that I had that fuse box, that relay box. I thought that was all wired in. Turns out it wasn't. Like half of them were still not connected. So connected up those, did a little power distribution. I still need to mount the positive block, and I still need to do some grounding. We need to run grounds to like our block, our head, our frame, all the common places. But we're not gonna do that because last night I came out here and I was just cleaning up and I thought, hey, let's throw some water in the radiator of this thing and see where or if we have leaks. And we have some pretty major leaks. The bottom radiator water neck connection, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't hold water. It just leaks, everything leaks out of there. So we need to pull that rad out and diagnose what's going on with that. I kind of fear that the tubing on the radiator is a little bit undersized for our silicone tubing that we're using. And if that's the case, it doesn't matter how tight you clamp it, it's just never gonna hold water. It'll end up wrinkling that silicone hose. So if that's the case, we need to cut those water necks off and put new water necks on. I did also drop that radiator at one point back when it was living in my basement. And I know I dented that lower water neck, so that might be the cause as well, but we won't know until we pull the radiator out. So first thing we're gonna do today, pull out that rad. Well, we found the problem. Our water necks are undersized. We measured the water neck on the radiator. It's 1.24. We measured the water neck on the engine, which is what these silicone joiner Dewey thingy-majiggies are meant for, and it's 1.375. So we're like 130 thou small on the diameter, and you can even see it when you put the hose on there. You can see, if you look right there, that gap, that's not good. Your hose is not supposed to do that on your water necks. So no matter how much we clamp down on this thing, it just wasn't gonna work. So we need to put new water necks on our radiator. Luckily, I have some of the tubing that we used to make these little thingy-majiggies. Unfortunately, it is a little bit bigger than this tubing is designed for. This is actually 1.50, so we're another 100 thou over the size that these are designed for. So to get it on is like a real... There we go. It's a struggle. So it's not ideal, but it'll work. So that's the plan. We'll make some new water necks. This piece actually conveniently already has a bead rolled in it on this end, but not in this end. So we'll have to roll another bead and then cut these off as new water necks. they'll basically slip right over top of the existing ones once I cut the bead off of those. So that should make it a little bit easier. It gives us lots of room to weld. Probably drill a hole, do a little rosette weld, and hopefully it'll all work. So let's find the bead roller. I think it's buried in the bottom of that toolbox over there, and then give it a whirl. All right, it's a new day. I'm wearing different clothes. By the time I got finished welding those water necks on last night, the radiator was way too hot to handle. So I just left it overnight to cool off. And then I came out this morning and put the water hoses on it and filled it up with water to check those welds for leaks. Left it all day. I'd hoped to come in this evening to a nice dry floor and we could install the radiator in the car, but we weren't that lucky. All right, so here's our setup. We just stuck the hoses on there so we get a little bit of water pressure. There's water in each of these hoses. And then we're just kind of looking to see, hoping that there'd be a dry floor, but there isn't. We got a little bit of water leaking out in here. There's just a hair bit there. And then there's some water leaking out right there as well. So, yeah, those aren't, they're not good enough. So that sucks. Obviously the next step is we need to fix those holes. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna have time to do that this week. I need to go and buy some little gouging bits for my Dremel and actually grind out those pinhole areas and then weld over them to fix it. So I gotta make a trip to the store and whatnot, and I just don't have time for it. So I'm gonna try to do that off camera, and then next time I get out in the shop, we can put the radiator in and maybe move on to something else. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. Go check us out on Instagram, even though I haven't posted anything on Instagram for a really long time. Maybe I'll post a picture of my leaky radiator. Left Foot First Media, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next couple weeks whenever I manage to get out here. I'm out of here.